2018 Maserati Ghibli Review. The good points of Maserati Ghibli: elegant styling, prestigious appeal, performance, great drive and automobile. The bad points of Maserati Ghibli: interior quality lacking, expensive to get, equally harmful for run, rear space limited. The nameplate could be familiar, it extends back to 1966, though the Maserati Ghibli ushered in a lot of firsts for your proud and heritage-laden company if this arrived in 2014. Using the larger quattroporte chassis, it's once the company has produced two four-door saloons simultaneously, and much more tellingly it had been also the very first Maserati that has a diesel engine. The Ghibli increased against some fierce rivals though, within the shape with the BMW 5 Series, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, Audi A6 and Jaguar XF, all very capable executive saloons that cost a good portion less compared to the Ghibli for starters. Engines. There are 3 engines available for your Ghibli, 2 twin-turbo V6 petrol engines furnished by Ferrari and also a 3.0-litre single-turbo V6 diesel bought in from Italian engine builder VM Motori. You can make a choice from 350 horsepower and 430 horsepower versions with the petrol engines, but both will sprint from 0 to 62 miles per hour in around 5 seconds and sound glorious while they do so due to active exhaust valves. Unfortunately, in spite of the Maserati active sound system, which uses valves inside exhausts to improve the noise under higher throttle inputs, the diesel can't match its petrol brethren for oral drama, though actually it does sound nearly as good if not superior to many diesel rivals, but has impressive performance. It's one in the most powerful single-turbo 3.0-litre diesels in the marketplace, with 275 horsepower and 600 Newton-meters of torque. A four-engine produced from only 2,000 revolutions per minute, offering more shove than either on the more powerful petrols. The 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint is finished in 6.3 seconds, with every shift through the 8-speed automatic gearbox completed smoothly and quickly. Only when pulling far from rest can the box get confused and feel jerky, along with stop-start traffic. We also think it is as easy to put your vehicle straight into park when, in truth, there we were after reverse. The selection of V6 powerplants means the Ghibli isn't as reasonable to own as many of its cheaper rivals, specifically in petrol form, but this goes away to explaining why the Ghibli is more expensive to purchase in the primary place. More power, more drama and even more exclusivity. Agile chassis, agile design. Maserati enjoys its GT cars, and although the Ghibli sports 4 doors, it is often deliberately styled to become recognizable to be a sporting 4-door coupe. That means the roofline is 20 mm under the quattroporte it shares its chassis with, as the overall length is 290 mm shorter. Extra width for the front and rear tracks adds to the auto's aggressive stance. That said, it can do sport a disproportionately long nose with regard to the incredibly short boot lid, which looks stunted from some angles. Still, within the move the Ghibli looks wonderfully mean and distinctive, much more so after its 2017 facelift, not least on account of the prominent grille and aggressively sharp headlights. Well, even so, the diesel, 51 hours 49 minutes, sport a 50 hours 50 minutes weight distribution for agile handling, and adaptive skyhook suspension is definitely an option on particular models. Whatever model you purchase, there's either regular Ghibli, in addition to Grand Lusso and Grand Sport, you'll look for a mechanical limited slip differential for greater rear traction, and around the road the Ghibli generates a good amount of grip. Quick direction changes a little problem, and it's all too easy to forget the amount car you happen to be throwing around, nearly 2 tons. Body roll is noticeable at extreme cornering angles, but overall it's incredibly well controlled and ride comfort at faster speeds resembles the best within the L. Luxurious interior. Bold, beautifully trimmed and cozy interiors, together with that analog clock, happen to be a feature of Maseratis also to a degree. The Ghibli isn't any different. Those employed to Fiat and Chrysler Group products will recognize some minor switchgear, along with the touchscreen infotainment system, from lower-end products, and several poor-quality plastics make an appearance with surprising regularity. However, certain areas are finished very well, with supple and soft Italian leather upholstery, an Alcantara headlining and real carbon fiber to the center console, a pricey option, and center on the steering wheel rim. The aluminium gearshift paddles behind it really are a joy to make use of, and convey with them the advantage of increased control with the gearbox. The front seats are seriously comfortable though, particularly if you specify the 8-way power adjustment. However, the heavily sculpted rear bench is tight for legroom and intensely only suitable for 2 people due to the high transmission tunnel. At least the 500-litre boot is competitive, although small opening may limit the length of some intended cargo. Latest deals from Buick are Maserati Ghibli 3.0 V6 Ford Ram Saloon, £29,995, or £439 monthly. Maserati Ghibli V60 Ford Rams Auto D, £58,000, or £1,029 every month. See all deals on Maserati Ghibli. Representative example, representative APR of 7.9% borrowing £10,509 over 48 months on HP type finance. The exact amount payable could be £250 monthly. That has a total cost of credit of £1,483 as well as a total amount payable of £11,992. Dennis Buick Car Limited, 3132 Alfred Place, London, WC1E7DP, GB09151058, is often a credit broker regulated by FCA, FRN 667368. The verdict. If you're considering a Ghibli, then you'll have to have the thick end of £50,000, plus a few choice option boxes ticked will tickle the ticket price beyond £60,000. That's a lot of cash, and crucially certainly one of this car's biggest problems. Rivals, for example the BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class and Jaguar XF offers similar performance, efficiency, equipment and appeal for the lot less. That said, people are not as distinctive, or command such romanticism across the badge. If you want to jump out with your executive car choice only, then we wouldn't chastise you for picking the Italian. Maserati Ghibli review. 3 engines, which are V6. 2 twin-turbo petrols and also a diesel. All provide ample performance. If speed is the best thing, then a performance available from the Maserati Ghibli will impress, whether or not you choose petrol or diesel. Ferrari V6 petrol engines. Built by Ferrari at its Maranello plant, these .0-litre V6 units are fundamentally exactly the same, using the top-end Ghibli S offering more power by reviewing the twin turbochargers. That means the range topper pushes out 430 horsepower, which in conjunction with 580 Nm of torque means the Maserati can complete the 0 to 62 mph dash in 4.9 seconds before topping out at 178 mph. It'll do so, which has a real roar too, due to the Maserati active sound system, which opens valves inside the exhaust at high RPM or engine load to improve the volume in the engine note, while ensuring it remains civilized and quiet with a constant cruise or at low speed. Choose the less powerful 3.0-litre V6 and you also are not going to feel shortchanged though, because this model of Ghibli still produces 350 horsepower and 500 Nm of torque, so can complete exactly the same benchmark sprint in only 5.5 seconds. V6 Ghibli diesel. The Ghibli is the primary Maserati, since firm's creation in 1914, make use of a diesel engine. In fact, initially the Italian firm has fitted a diesel engine into certainly one of its cars, and it's been with us since 1914. But while it's a lot of diesel in name, it's a lot more petrol-like to use performance. The 0 to 62 mph sprint takes only 6.3 seconds. That's thanks partly on the headline 275 horsepower power figure, though mostly towards the massive 600 Newton-meters of torque provided by 2000 revolutions per minute. It even sounds good, once you've got in the evening initial startup clatter and set it in sport mode, and also the mid-range shove shows that on a twisting back road, despite the presence of slower website visitors to pass, it never feels without grunt. 8-speed automatic gearbox. There's no selection for a manual gearbox about the Ghibli, so whatever engine or trim you choose to buy, you'll offer an 8-speed automatic. The great news is it's a considerable unit, with well-spaced ratios plus a mostly smooth gear change, the optional paddles behind the leader giving excellent manual control if you ever wish, and feel good. However, we've seen that in crawling traffic, the Ghibli's gearbox can transmit an apparent shunt through on the cabin because it decides which gear to away in after reducing. It's nothing too alarming, but doesn't think that's something you ought to be experiencing in a very luxurious performance saloon. Excellent body control for this type of big car. Little body roll and quick steering. Adaptive damping alters handling. At simply a shade under 5 meters long, the Ghibli can't often be a small car, but Maserati's sporting heritage has clearly played part in the way it performs. It's no lazy saloon. Certainly periodically you forget simply how much mass is just about and behind you. On a smoothly driven dry road, the Ghibli generates impressive degrees of grip, so you barely notice its size unless it's a really narrow street. There is an initial body roll while you tip your vehicle into a turn. The optional adaptive dampers will improve this, but once focused on your line, the Ghibli remains flat and stable and a breeze to manage. In fact, it feels more agile laptop or computer has any straightaway to, though more steering feel with the rim could be welcomed and within the ragged edge since its curb weight pops up into play. Drive it beyond its natural limits as well as the stability control system will intervene, making certain all remains responsible for all. However, the vehicle's integrated vehicle control (IVC) strategy is there to counteract this happening in the very first place. With the computer turned off, a corner end will relinquish grip and accomplish that without much warning, requiring quick hands and decisive corrective action to keep contact using the black stuff. At least the 6-piston front brakes are up to your job of hauling around the Ghibli's speed should everything go wrong, as there are refreshingly little dive or squat under braking or acceleration. Plush interior in places. Some materials disappointing. Easy to obtain, comfortable. The dominating element from the cabin has been the 8.4-inch touchscreen display from the center console, employed for audio, climate, navigation and telephone functions. It's bright, all too easy to watch along with clear graphics, for example the Garmin-based sat-nav interface and maps, though we did possess some problems controlling streamed Bluetooth audio from your iPhone with any consistency and occasionally found some with the controls and menus somewhat counterintuitive. And obviously there's the standard Maserati clock perched atop the dash, which in this car was covered in fine-grade Poltrona Frau leather, which you'll either love or find for being a retro pastiche not required within a modern motor car. Those who've spent time in other Fiat/Jeep/Chrysler products will recognize some from the minor switchgear, except for most this won't be apparent. What you could stumble upon is merely how thick and chunky the tire is, the rim on ours having a thin band of carbon fiber to check the center console's covering, and excellent aluminium gearshift paddles mounted just behind it. The instruments before are deeply cowled and take care of in an attractive shade of blue, though we'd have preferred to obtain seen slightly finer font used with the numbers. The automatic gear lever doesn't look particularly good either, including because from the slab of silver trim around its base, so we found it too an easy task to overshoot reverse and select park because there are no defined steps or positions for that lever. At least the optional 8-way electrically adjustable seats on our test example meant it absolutely was easy to obtain into the ideal driving position. As you moved, the seats themselves were particularly comfortable. Seat comfort good indeed. Riders very good for the whole. Optional skyhook dampers. As a strong renowned for sports cars where handling is vital, it may well come being a surprise that comfort levels are one in the Maserati Ghibli's highlights. It seems to soak up bumps inside road with relative ease, as long when you've left the automobile in comfort mode. Choose Sport and everything becomes just a little tauter and jarring, but it's also essential to note the way the Ghibli rides depends heavily what is the best model you go searching for. We found the diesel felt considerably more settled on bumpier roads compared to petrol. It's for the motorway, especially the place, that the Ghibli's damping impresses most though, and in conjunction with very little wind, road or engine noise, it proves being a perfectly comfortable and capable cruiser. Drive the diesel, therefore you'll know about some clatter on startup, but this soon subsides, and about the move it's an easy task to forget that you're not in the petrol model. Even the 8-speed gearbox contributes to your Ghibli's comfort levels, with smooth changes, though we did notice some occasional hesitancy when pulling from junctions. Sat within the exquisite leather seats, which offer a lot of adjustment, there's no qualms about comfort or support, and in addition they can be specified with heating or ventilation for additional cost. Maserati's Skyhook adaptive damping method is standard on some models and optional on others, but we discovered that when Sport is selected for these particular, the ride quality suffers on patchy roads. We thought it was best to leave it to use normal setting for the more relaxed and compliant ride. 2017 saw a substitute cabin. Lots of normal equipment. Majors on luxury inside. Even the most affordable version with the Ghibli costs all around £50,000 prior to deciding to add options, so you're directly to expected to get well equipped. The very good news is that in comparison to many rivals it can indeed boast some serious standard kit. Standard Maserati Ghibli equipment. The Ghibli comes in 3 levels: Ghibli, Ghibli Gran Lusso or Ghibli Gran Sport. All models can be obtained with all engines. Regardless that combination you choose, all include at least 18-inch alloy wheels, a complete leather interior with electric front seats, as well as a suite of advanced safety and driver assistance systems. Much more about that within the safety section. Opt for your extra Gran Lusso package, as well as your Ghibli will consist of adaptive LED headlights, chrome exterior detailing, body-colored side skirts, black brake calipers and 19-inch alloy wheels. The Gran Sport, about the other hand, also incorporates adaptive LED headlights, but adds more aggressive-looking bumpers at the front and back, piano black exterior detailing in place in the Gran Lusso's chrome, red brake calipers and 20-inch alloy wheels. Inside, leather is standard along the Ghibli range, with sports seats for that Gran Sport and much more luxurious chairs with the Gran Lusso, with inserts in Ermenegildo Zegna silk and polished wood trim for the dashboard and center console. There's an 8.4-inch touchscreen infotainment system which you would possibly recognize from various Jeep models, and is sold with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. There's fashionable 7.0-inch TFT display relating to the dials inside instrument panel. Gran Lusso models also include soft closed doors plus a Harman Kardon premium sound system, while other Ghibli designs have a standard Harman Kardon subwoofer. Gran Sport incorporates piano black wood trim within the dashboard. Maserati Ghibli, optional accessories. If you're getting a Maserati Ghibli, then it's likely that you're going to need to spend some time, effort and funds personalizing it a bit. The very good news is Maserati has the trunk catalog of extras for making it an easy, if sometimes expensive, job. If you need larger wheels, that's possible. There's 19, 20 and 21-inch trims available, while painting the brake calipers can be an option. If you like extra bling, then this polished aluminium finish will cost you more money, while adaptive Skyhook dampers cost extra, too. As for bodywork, metallic, mica, metalescent and pearlescent paint finishes are available, while a sunroof could be specified. Inside, the aluminium active shifting paddles behind the leader are worth any additional, while heated and ventilated front seats can even be added. If you're too lazy, to the steering column manually electrical adjustment is accessible, as is surely an electric rear sun blind. Those that they like their tunes loud should invest inside the Bowers and Wilkins Hi-Fi with 15 speakers, as well as streaming about the move. There's a Wi-Fi hotspot available. Alcantara headlining is extra, much like Poltrona for our leather-covered seats, dashboard and door panels. If carbon fiber will be your thing, then this center console covered inside technical weaves could be specified, while adding a thin band with this to the controls is extra again. There really are a number of packs that happen to be better value, like the convenience pack, rear view camera and keyless entry, and also the cold weather pack, back and front seat heating, power rear sunshade and heated windscreen nozzles. Whatever way you slice it though, it's simple to get carried away using the Ghibli options list, so we'd wager that most making their way out in the factory will have at least £5,000 of extras put into their base price. Comprehensive safety pack added 2017. Lots of driver assistance tech is standard. Ghibli can be a very safe car to operate a vehicle in. This is the very first model in the firm being scrutinized by Euro NCAP. Along with the good news is, according on the test, is Maserati Ghibli safety factors first class, using a full 5 stars awarded. The executive saloon received particular praise for adult protection and safety assist, and received maximum points for infant protection within the rear. As you'd expect, there's a switchable stability system, which ensures you keep things pointing within the right direction by reducing engine torque should it detect the wheels are spinning at different rates, indicating a skid. This system has since been upgraded to one which aims to avoid any form of instability in the primary place, called Integrated Vehicle Control, IVC. There's 7 airbags, including one to the driver's knees, as well as from the steering wheel. As you move, the front seat passenger has their unique frontal and side bags together with anti-whiplash headrests. All occupants take advantage of curtain airbags. As part with the car's updates to the 2018 model year, a suite of driver assistance systems were added. The active cruise control system now incorporates highway assist, which keeps you a prescribed distance in the car in the front, and also will keep you with your lane via lane keep assist and active blind spot assist. New cameras in the front in the car allow this ability, as well as watch traffic signs and inform the driver and the speed limit through the information display within the instrument panel. Space quite a bit less generous since its rivals. Not an issue if you're doing the driving. If you're not, it's your decision. The Quattroporte. As a 5-seat, 4-door saloon, which has a generously sized boot, you may expect the Ghibli's practicality to become very good, as well as a degree it really is. Though you can find 5 seatbelts provided, the spine bench is sculpted more for the pair of occupants instead of 3. As well as the transmission tunnel eats into footroom to the middle person quite significantly. At least there's a reliable amount of headroom back there, and legroom is acceptable with the size of car. However, it's not nearly as good as a corner of a BMW 5 Series or Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Up front within the cabin there's a considerable storage area which has a double opening below your elbows within the center console. Nevertheless, the iPod or USB connection located in front of this has nowhere to stow your device satisfactorily. Add to that the glove box that is about the slim side and meager door pockets, and it is clear storage wasn't high for the designer's priority list. At almost 5 meters in total, the Ghibli can be a long car, but it's also wide. On the motorway you won't notice its heft, but on tighter urban roads or country lanes, there's only a whole lot it can because of disguise its dimensions. That said, it having a range of cameras available for the Ghibli, maneuvering your vehicle shouldn't be too tricky. You need to be mindful of how long it really is in smaller car parks. At 500 liters bigger, the Ghibli's boot is throughout the same type of size as the majority of its rivals, accessed using a slightly limited saloon boot lid, but that's also part of the course for this sort of car. The boot could be expanded, though, by folding about the rear seats. However, this can be unlikely for being the style of car you'll do runs to your tip in on the weekend.